Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This video we're going to be looking at something that if you've been following me for a while and watching some of the previous videos, you might have heard me talking about me not being happy with the rockscape that I've got in. So the tank didn't look like this. It hasn't always looked like this. I did have a different rockscape in. It was quite a minimalist scape. And I did like it, but the more and more corals that I wanted to add, it was just poor planning on my part, so there wasn't a great amount of space to put corals. And then I managed to get my hands on the rockscape that you're looking at now. Sorry about the glare. So all of this from up here and all that is all one big scape structure, and then it's the same with this one over there. It starts from down here, it goes up here, and then that is all one piece. And now that's the TMC real reef branching rock, I think it is. And this has come out of a friend's tank. They had a lagoon style really shallow reef. They didn't have it up like this, they had it flat, but obviously I took it on and basically just chucked it in the tank, and this is how it fell. And really I like it, but I'm not in love with it. And I don't know, I think there's a lot of space being wasted due to how it currently is, and I'm just ready for a bit of a change. So the plan is to have two sort of bomby style setups. So this side we've got one decent sized rock here. I'm more than likely going to keep that, and then there is two decent sized rocks there. One's the base and one's just got that little bit of an arch going over the top, and then this one is a rock that I'd sliced in half, and it's just propped up right. So this is not my main focal point at the moment. Once I get these other rocks out and get as many corals off it as I can, then I can sort of rework that bit. But there's lots of beneficial bacteria in and on that rock. Excuse me. So I don't want to mess around and take everything out and start completely afresh, apart from with this side. So I'm gonna, I have got some pieces of rock that I've been left with from previous builds, and I don't know, I think every reefer's probably got a bit of leftover rock somewhere. So I'm going to have a bit of a play around and see what I can come up with, if there's anything that I like, and I'll show you what, like I said, what I come up with. So this, I'm still not overly sure on it. I don't like this top piece. I've just sort of put that on, see what it was like. There is, again, still some issues with this, where yes, there's lots of gaps inside, which is great for maybe the smaller, more timid fish, lots of swim throughs, while still having, looking from the top, there's still plenty of places to put corals where they're not going to touch, which is something that with the current rock work that I've got at the minute, I have fell down with. Basically everything grows into each other and then they die off. So I'm quite liking this. The only thing that I probably want to change is it's not high enough. So I like the bommy style. I like that there's lots of areas to put the corals, but coming back to the tank, you know, that scape, it's only, what do we think? Looking at that from there, it's probably, the scape is going to finish there, which still leaves all this, so I do need to get some more, either get some more rock or rejig what's there. Now in here, behind here, there's a big chunk of rock. There's a decent chunk there. Obviously that's got to stay anyway because it's got all the GSP on. There's another bit of rock under there. So I have got options to take things out and add them on. The issue is obviously if I take any of these out, the bacteria and everything's going to die off, and if I then add it back into the tank, it could create more issues down the line. The other issues that I suppose everybody finds is there's lots of, I've got plenty of corals on here that have outgrown the plugs and started growing directly onto the rockwork. There's some acros there that have, acros started basing out. The stuff on top I'm not overly fussed about, I think they'll snap off quite easy. And then there's that the Posoma, ice Posoma, there's some around the back as well. But yeah, I just want to tidy it all up, so I will have another look. You know, I don't make these decisions lightly, so I'm going to be playing around in that box with all the rubble for a bit longer and see what we come up with, really. I've got to find something that I think is going to look good. Obviously replacing the rock should be pretty straightforward. This all comes out in one big lump, so it's taking that out. I'll more than likely put the new one straight in, and then obviously while this is out of the water, try and get as many corals off as I can. I'll just be happy to finally get rid of these horrible greeny blue zoas, which again, if you've been following me for a while, you see that I thought I'd pretty much eradicated all of these, scraped them all off the rock, and somehow they still managed to find their way back. It's a shame the copper bands, all the filefish, won't take care of them for me, but hey ho. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled. I'm probably going to put this in the same video anyway, so you'll see it in this video. So guys, we're back with the tank. It's been a couple of weeks, just I've not been very well at all, so things have been a bit slow. I have managed to make the rockscape that I'm happy with. So my plan now is we're going to be removing this big chunk that you can see in front. I'm not going to film me getting all the corals off because it's just going to be too much of a ball ache trying to get these nems off in the first place. And to be fair, the main things that I'm taking off is obviously the hammers, the Duncans, the nems, and then there's a bit of SPS up on the top. But other than that, really, I'll not be saving much off of it anyway. I'll just be taking it out and getting rid of it, letting it dry up. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'll take that out of the tank, clear a bit of a path on the bottom as well, because there is still some rocks underneath. As I was saying, there's still some rocks underneath that need to come out. The GSP rock is staying, but this rock is coming out, and I think there's another one behind it as well that's coming out as well. So I'm going to get cracked on and I will show you with the new scape inside. Alright guys. So guys, you join me back at the tank. It's been probably about an hour since I've managed to change everything over, so I'll just zoom back and give you a look at what we've gone for. So quite a big difference. Quite a bit of rock has been taken out. See, there's a big chunk of it here. That box is full, quite a bit in there, and then I've also put some in the small reef 75 Max Nano. I'm happy with how it looks. Do need to tweak a few things. See, I've still got quite a bit of quite a few corals on the bottom that will be moving on to this rock somewhere. I've not glued anything on here really yet. I've glued one of the acros just on the edge, but that hammer's not going to be staying there. I don't think it's quite high light up there. The next thing I am planning on doing though is removing the lid, removing the top. So that will be coming soon, and then it's something that I've been debating, and I think, yeah, I'm just going to do it. Something else to point out though is my Banggai Cardinal is with eggs. There's the male there. I was hoping that this one that you can see just to the right, that one would be the male and this would be the female, just because that's the bigger size. But the front one is the female and the male is in the back with the eggs. He's had the eggs now for about 5 or 6 days, so I'm just going to be keeping an eye on them. But yeah, going back to the scape, it took me a while. Well, I say it took me a while, it didn't really take me a while. It took me a few hours. It took me about an hour to play around with some of the rock. Came back to it the day later and wasn't happy with it, so did it a different way. Didn't use any glue or anything like that at that point, and then came back to it the next day, and every time I took a piece off I couldn't get it back in the same place. So I thought, right, I'm just gonna make a start and build a base. So I had 2 flat pieces. This comes in 2 sections. So the right section, there's a flat bit on the bottom, then there's another piece, and then there's another piece. So that side's just made up of 3 rocks. And then this side, there's another flat bit at the bottom. There is another piece on top of there, which is this one. I've put that piece, which is just like a ledge. Then this more boulder style piece. And then this is an arch, which I'd got from somebody else's breakdown months ago. Kept it, wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, if I was going to do anything with it, and it's come into play now. So when I had it out of the tank, there was a bit more of a gap in between these rocks, whereas now I have pushed it quite back to the back glass, and this is why I said it's not really finished. I think I will pull it forward a bit, and I might even twist it a little bit just so that it's more of a swim through, because at the moment there is the arch and there is a bit of a swim through, but it's not how I had it when it was all out of the tank. So yeah, there's still a few things to do. I'm just going to drop some Drop some brine shrimp in there. Can watch them feeding while we're talking. Obviously the basket's still in the tank. That's got a couple of rock flower nems in, and now it's got a couple of bubble tips in. I will be moving them on, but you can see that there's only one bangai eating. So we'll see what happens. I have bred these in the past, not this exact pair. It was a different pair, and then when I was closing down my tank, I got rid of my breeding pair, which are still breeding. They went to a local reefer, and he's got them in their tank, and I've seen videos and pictures. They are still breeding and having eggs, which is good. But yeah, there's a lot more space in the tank. It looks a bit brighter. I think before there was a lot of shadows, there was a lot of stuff that just didn't really look, I wasn't happy with. The amount of anemones that I had in the tank basically wiped out all the zoas. I don't know whether you remember, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll have known that zoas were one of the main features in this tank, and now there's barely any zoas left. From me fragging and getting rid of some, to I think Asterina starfish, and then the amount of anemones that were climbing all over the rock and just stinging them until they were dead, basically. So yeah, there's a look at the tank for now. I'll probably I'll probably put another video out in a couple of weeks once it's a bit more settled and once the tank's a bit clearer, and once I've tidied the glass up and got this box out. And I might do a video on removing the lid. If anybody's interested on me doing a video on that, let me know. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know how you feel about the new scape, whether you think it looks better or if it looks worse. If you do like it, then please consider subscribing, so you don't miss any future updates. Thanks, guys.